The Alternative Archive Broome exhibition. This is one of 13 exhibitions across Western Australia in regions and the city. So this exhibition's been a brilliant opportunity for our Broome-based artists as members of the Kimberley Arts Network, which is a new incorporated group. For this year, in 2019, these artists have been able to have their work seen by not only our local community but some curators from outside the community, and have their work displayed on a website through Galleries West that will be accessed across the state and receive a lot more exposure than we normally would receive just having a small exhibition in Broome. So the Kimberley Arts Network is really proud to present this exhibition alongside the Creative Grid and working alongside Anna Louise Richardson, whose original concept for the Alternative Archive was to challenge artists to create a visual representation of a part of history that has gone unrecorded or unacknowledged or deserves another look at from a different perspective. So our artists here have had a look at our local Broome community and as far as Wyndham and Halls Creek and across to the Lassipedes Islands to tell interesting stories from each of these places. The Alternative Archive Broome tells a story that weaves across the Kimberley in and out of the Indian Ocean. These alternative perspectives and diverse narratives align and dissect across time, place, community in a unique braid of ingenuity, craftsmanship and insight to inspire and intrigue audiences new and old. Carpenter and model maker Lachlan Fraser brings 3 decades of local architectural knowledge to his scaled model of the centuries-old pearl sorting shed once located on Dampier Terrace. It's fitting that this piece is exhibited within the sailmaker's shed, a building he dismantled and painstakingly restored. Passionate about old Broome's architectural history, Lachlan has spent countless hours researching with the help of the Broome Museum to bring a degree of historical accuracy to his work. Gary Smith's magnificently delicate and detailed sculpted pearl shell reveals the ironically constrained tension between the covetable pearl luster and the horrors of its extraction, a monstrous act beyond belief. The blackbirder and pregnant slave forced to dive for shell. This highly emotive and explosive personal content resonates further in the boldly graphic paintings of Yawuru artist June Mooney Darwin, who depicts the pulsating pain inflicted upon her community over generations in the endless repetition of teardrop markings and the bizarrely innocuous symbolism of pearl shell buttons. Deeply affected by the recent return of ancestral remains from Germany, Mooney discharges her anguish through a visceral reenactment of bloodshed and bonding. Continuing the theme of tragic loss of innocence at sea, Susie French layers feminine iconography over aluminium to represent the ephemeral fatality of the Dutch women and children, refugees, whose plane was shot out of the sky over Roebuck Bay in 1942. In keeping with women and the ocean, Geralie Bretag weaves across Broome to Riddell Beach in a celebration of women, worship and an earthly connection to nature, femininity and fertility in a stunning layered resin form with entrapped souvenirs of place. Again, women's stories are celebrated and elevated through growth statistics in the counting of women and teams participating in Her Rules, Her Game, a new and rapidly expanding diverse community of women rendered in tiny monochromatic oil paintings on old vintage tin number plates by me, Naomi Hatherley. Rowena Strain, a proud Catholic woman, has sought to depict the diversity of the local Catholic faith in a series of symbolic communal bowls lovingly turned, embellished and glazed to simultaneously preserve and reveal the intimate layers in the evolution of this community. Underlying the narrative in these works are the women at the heart of the family who connect the community. Broome has drawn many from their homelands in Strain's work, as in Bernadette Shepherd's Maps of Country. Shepherd recalls the stories and memories of her country from Wyndham to Balgo and Halls Creek in minimalist stippled contours contrasted against swirling pools of vivid Kimberley colour. The work becomes a record of memory, people, places and contact akin to a coded photo album. Contributing to this record of country and memory, Ben Houston's photographic landscapes evoke wonder and awe in the majesty of place. Mapping country and the contested histories of dueling narratives takes a whimsical turn in the hands of ceramicist Chrissy Carter who seeks to delight and entertain by creating a wry pastiche for her contribution to the Alternative Archive Broome. Carter's humour is reminiscent of Sidney Nolan or Reg Mombassa, not only in colour and style, but also in an intention to upend any overly seriously reckoning in regard to the political disputes over the Lassipede Islands. Responding to local histories and stories, the Alternative Archive Broome artists have each sought a personal connection that links the past to this moment in time. In shifting through the stories of our place, they have circled the narratives that not only stir them personally, but also in breathing creative life into these chapters of our history. They are reimagined before our eyes in powerful new ways that only art is able to do.